coming up to the billionaire class.
Tommy Nation Politics.
50% of our people who are living paycheck to paycheck. And as we speak tonight, half of our people in this country, the richest country in the history of the world, are living paycheck to paycheck.
Like people having health care and not killing the planet. And the more those demographic groups move away from the party, the easier it is to keep the establishment firmly in place.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
We're moving forward at a pace that was unimaginable just a short time ago, and we are never, ever going back.
Democrats and Republicans have been going back and forth following the presidential election. And back in 1934, the two parties were also feuding, and it resulted in the killing of 5 innocent people in a small village in Schuylkill County. Newswatch 16's Chase Senior revisits the Clares massacre.
If you skim through every chapter of American history, political divide has been present in our country, which has led to several cases of political violence.
These things happen, and it's an unfortunate truth that they happen because these political emotions, they get inflamed, they arise, and unfortunately violence is all too often the outlet for these emotions.
That's what happened on election eve, November 5th, 1934, in the small coal mining village of Clares, which borders McAdoo. Blink while driving through and you might miss it, as only a few hundred people live here. But 86 years ago this month, this little-known pocket in Schuylkill County received national attention when a local heated political battle turned deadly.
President Franklin Delano Roosevelt is in the White House and extremely popular because of his New Deal. So a lot of state officials across the country and here in Pennsylvania, they're riding FDR's coattails into political offices. Now, up in Clares, at that time, the political boss was a man by the name of Joseph Big Joe Bruno.
Bruno lived on the corner of 4th and Center Streets and was considered the wealthiest and most powerful man in Clares, and throughout the years, history shows he had his hands on everything. He served as school board director, was an assistant county detective, a bank director and landlord who also managed the town's school buses and sold gasoline to power those buses. He appointed family members to positions of power, and while some locals bowed down to him, his detractors thought he was dirty. A man who, if he didn't get what he wanted, would resort to violence, which resulted in the Clares massacre.
The Democrats are emboldened by the successes, and they have a political rally that starts in McAdoo, and then they have a march that goes into Clares. Well, during the march, some of the marchers in the Democrat Party had hurled insults at one of the daughters of Big Joe. And of course, with tensions as they were with the Republicans, and Joe wanting to hold on to power, as the marchers went past his house, shots rang out.
5 people were killed, many more injured. Joe and some of his family members were arrested, and he was locked up here at Schuylkill County Prison. But according to historians, his term was very lenient, and anybody could visit him. Eventually, he was sentenced to life in prison on first-degree murder charges, but before being transferred to Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia in 1936, he escaped to New York City and was in hiding for 8 months, but was captured in Manhattan. He was then paroled in 1948 and passed away 3 years later. This all goes down as a story of political division in a small coal mining town that all these years later is somewhat forgotten about.
Even though it received national attention, it's really a footnote in Schuylkill County history and Pennsylvania history. It exemplified deep-seated fears of civil unrest, even with the New Deal going on.
Today, Clares is much like it was back then. A tiny village with Republican roots, and while no historical marker stands to remember Election Eve of 1934, artifacts and stories do remain.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
Supreme Court to overturn the governor's recent veto of the entire legislative budget. Political reporter Jack Fink is in the CBS and DFW studio with our top story tonight. Jack?
Well, Ken, the Texas House Democratic Black Caucus and Mexican-American Legislative Caucus, the organizations asking the Texas Supreme Court to reject the governor's veto. Democrats say the governor overstepped his authority, but the governor's office says the law is on his side.
The governor is a governor. He's not a dictator. He's not an emperor.
Texas House Democratic Caucus Chair Chris Turner says Governor Greg Abbott abused his power, vetoed the entire legislative portion of the Texas budget. The governor did so after Democrats walked out of the Texas Capitol before a midnight deadline for House members to pass bills, effectively killing the controversial election's integrity. Turner, he and other Democrats want the Texas Supreme Court to overturn the veto, claiming it violates the separation of powers.
Never has the governor tried to lie on and veto the entire legislative branch. If you get away with this, what's next? If judiciary issues a court decision he disagrees with, he can veer out the judicial branch too. Where does it end? It's a really dangerous precedent if the governor, in fact, lay with this.
In response, the governor's press secretary issued a statement calling the Democrats' claims misleading. Quote, the Constitution protects the legislative branch, and as the Democrats well know, their positions, their power, and their salaries are protected by the Constitution. They can legislate despite the veto. Republican State Senator Kelly Hancock of North Richland Hills, one of the governor's legislative allies, downplayed Democrats' move.
There's a simple way to address the issue, and it's just showing up in Austin on July 8th and addressing the issues we have. That doesn't mean you have to vote yes. It just means you have to show up and do your job.
TCU political science professor Jim Riddle says this is political gamesmanship. Governor Abbott has called for a special session July 8th. The legislature's budget will run out at the end of August, so there is still time for lawmakers to pass a bill restoring their funding. Ken?
All right, Jack, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Bruce. I don't want to picture Bruce. Bruce. Bruce, what do you think about the stuff that they're teaching in the schools? Hey, Bruce. Bruce, what do you think about the stuff that they're teaching in the schools regarding the LGBTQ? About Jesus Christ. Bring it about Jesus. Look at that sick freak. Why did people want a picture with him? Yeah. I don't get that. These are conservatives, right? This is what we came to. Why do we want a picture with a tranny? Why do we want a picture with a tranny? It's supposed to be conservatives.
On a lighter note, you're going to meet with singer Olivia Rodrigo tomorrow at the White House. What do you think that she can do to try to persuade younger people to get vaccinated?
Well, I understand that she's a very popular figure among young individuals, and that's what you try to do. That's what we talk about, Andrea, when we say we want to get trusted messengers that people can relate to, as opposed to just federal officials telling people to get vaccinated. And if she has a large following, which I understand she has an enormous following, I'm sure that she can do some good by appealing to the people who look up to her as a model.
Welcome back. Even though it's been 8 months since Donald Trump lost his bid for re-election, his power over the Republican Party doesn't seem to be waning, and in fact may even be getting stronger. For many Republicans, the elections are turning into a Trump loyalty test. In what is normally a highly unusual move, incumbent Senator Lisa Murkowski Murkowski of Alaska just lost the support of the state's Republican Party. GOP leaders there endorsed Murkowski's pro-Trump primary challenger. And Murkowski isn't alone. Senator James Lankford faces a similar situation in Oklahoma. And in Ohio, the crowded primary field for the open Senate seat is becoming a race to be the Trumpiest candidate. Altogether, it is clear that the Republican Party is betting big on Trumpism in 2022. The question now, whether it'll pay off or whether it will scare off independent voters. NBC's Henry Gomez is a national political reporter based in the Midwest. He joins me now from the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. Henry, it is lovely to see you. I have, in fact, I've spoken many times in the state of Ohio and across the rest of the country on the campaign trail. So there's no one I'd rather talk to about. Let's start with the critical Ohio Senate race because it's a pretty good example of how Republicans are falling all over themselves to get in line behind Trump. I know you interviewed J.D. Vance. You talked to Sherrod Brown. Brown's description of what's happening there is pretty evocative. What do you think we need to know right now about what's happening in this race?
I mean, Sherrod Brown, the Democratic senator who's not on the ballot in 2022, he sums it up as, 5 candidates who are basically on the playground or at schoolyard saying Donald Trump likes me better than he likes you. That's really, it's partisan, but it's a distillation of what this GOP primary has become in Ohio. You have 5 announced candidates, all of whom have gone to big lengths to demonstrate their loyalty to former President Trump, whether it's when they endorsed him, how early they endorsed him, whether they loaned him staff to campaign in 2016, whether they said something nice about him, whether they raised money for him, whether they got a picture taken with him. Like there's no tie that's too small to flaunt in this race if you're a Republican running for the seat.
Pretty remarkable. And we talked to Vance. He, of course, is the author of Hillbilly Elegy, former venture capitalist, someone who really aggressively criticized Trump. He, of course, said, well, I've got to suck it up and support him if I want to win this race. But you also pressed him on whether Joe Biden was the legitimate nominee and whether there was room in the party for people who believe that Biden legitimately won the election. I thought his answers were pretty interesting.
Vance did not directly answer the question. He basically said, I'm just asking questions, and there are irregularities that need to be pointed out, and we need to ask questions about, and I'm all for getting to the bottom of that, which really sidesteps, around the direct question of do you believe Joe Biden is a president? And, actually, that's a milder approach than some of the other candidates in this race have taken. Josh Mandel, former state treasurer, Jane Timken, the former state party chair,
Under threat like never before. Who would have thought this could have happened? Even Bernie Sanders is saying, I never thought this could happen. He's mild by comparison.
Some of my friends in the Democratic establishment are not aware, or I think cannot comprehend, what some of us have in mind in terms of what will happen after Biden is elected, hopefully after he's elected. And that is, we are not going back to business as usual. There's too much pain out there. There's too much inequality out there. There's too much injustice out there. I'm going to lay out a 100-day agenda which speaks to the need to begin the process of moving toward Medicare for all. My legislation, 4-year legislation, first year lower the eligibility age from 65 to 55 and cover all the kids. I'm going to introduce that bill. Immediately, we're going to raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour, equal pay for equal work. Immediately, a massive infrastructure program to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure and create millions of good-paying jobs. Immediately, making it easier for workers to join unions, etc., etc. So we have got to lay out an agenda that speaks to the struggles and the desperation of working-class Americans, and finally, tell the corporate elite they have had their day. and we are going to stand up and fight for policies that workers desperately need. You know, Joe Biden is not going to become the dictator. He is the president of the United States. If we rally the American people and demand that
I've not been able to hear anything about what's happened. How long has he been sentenced? Well, I don't know all the circumstances that were considered, but it seems to me under guidelines that seem to be appropriate. The partnership between Afghanistan and the United States is not ending. It's going to be sustained. And, you know, our troops may be leaving, but support for Afghanistan is not ending in terms of support and maintenance of their helping to maintain their military as well as economic and political support.
Into a new chapter of our relationship where the partnership with the United States would not be military, but comprehensive regarding our mutual interest, and we're very encouraged and satisfied that this partnership is taking place.
Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed.
Hey guys, Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Good? I hope so. I hope everyone's doing good today. What you just saw, guys, was a collage of politicians with their rhetoric and their promises, their fear-mongering, their propaganda, their hopes and dreams, all wanting to relate to you. Why? Well, it's time for the ballots to be counted. Greetings. I come in peace. This is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. A free-thinking, innovative, totally open-minded, new progressive media. Things are so upside down. It's not because it's Wacky Wednesday. Also, guys, it's not just Wednesday. July 14th is also National Mac and Cheese Day. National Mac and Cheese Day. It's up to you to celebrate however you wish. In this free country, you can put breadcrumbs on your mac and cheese. You can garnish it with white truffle oil if you wish. Maybe have a nice vegan delicacy. Add some spinach and some okra. It's all up to you. The power is yours. One little lever of power that we no longer hold because we've given it up for convenience and for apathy is our power of we the people. We the people. That's right, guys. I just woke up and I've heard some news. Now, let's just all get real and know that the midterms are in 4 months. So the political circus is in full fucking effect, okay? What do these politicians want? Do they want to help you? No. Do they want to help your kids? No. What do they want, guys? George Washington said, in the place of time and things, the political parties will start usurping power of the American people and govern for their own maintenance of power. But I've got to get this message across and I need help. Yes, that's right. I'm not just delivering the news, I'm actually giving you an assignment, a research assignment. Because I could have missed something. I could have stepped over some things. I'm a human being. And I'm not as good as mac and cheese, guys. Just put it that way. When it comes to investigative journalism, I might need your help. On what may you ask? Well, guys, I've been really busy with a project. It was an undercover project. I knew that any time now, the Democrats and the Republicans were going to try to rob us again. Because they robbed us 5 times last year. Buffering the stock market with government money, giving their fucking donors and foreign countries aid in the COVID relief bills, and creating a income inequality not seen since the Gilded Age. So I knew they can't stop now. Now that Joe Biden, the Build Back Better Biden, the most perfect puppet in all of oligarchy land, is at the helm of the free world, I knew it was only a matter of time until they would try to rob us again. So I've been trying to figure out their schemes. Now, usually during the midterms, guys, this is all just for show. They don't want to do anything for you. They don't want to do anything, period. Not at all. But some things are moving, guys. Some levers are moving, some fucking wheels are moving, and it's called an infrastructure bill. This is a weird-ass bill, guys. This is a weird-ass bill because Schumer discovered it in the Senate rules and handbooks and community guidelines and standards. Basically, they've already had a budget reconciliation with the COVID relief bill, guys. They've already had one. But Schumer found another one. That's weird. Want to know what else is weird? Well, Joe Biden apparently made a deal with the Republicans last month on a $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Then he goes to the media, tells them that there's going to be 2 deals. Here's the deal, buddy. Look fat. Mitch McConnell hears this, and Lindsey Graham hears this and says, "What? That's not what we talked about. Joe, you're a liar." So then we have to start over. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders is saying, there's no way we can have, we got to have at least $5 trillion of infrastructure. Jeez Louise. Yes, guys, Bernie Sanders disagreed. He thought the price tag was going to be more. Then we had some fucking scrambling and skirmishing between the moderates. $3 trillion, $2.2 trillion. Who knows what's happening? Is this deal still with McConnell? And this deal still with Graham? And everybody on the fucking Financial Services Committee? No. Now the Democrats, today, they all had a meeting. They all had a fucking private door meeting, these Democrats. And Bernie Sanders. It's going to be a $2 trillion bill. Bernie's on board. And they won't answer any specific questions, guys. Like what's in the bill? Why is it a price tag of $2 trillion? What did they agree on? What are the bullet points? I have no idea, guys. Am I missing something? Where are they? I look at the mainstream media, the Associated Press, all I can see is the manufacturing consent of this. Oh my God, they've all come to an agreement. Well, what about Joe Manchin? He's the magical Senate leprechaun, right? Well, turns out they don't give a shit. They're going to build back better without Joe Manchin. This time, Joe Biden has power. This time, apparently, Joe Biden has power. Apparently, Joe Biden has power anytime he wants to do what he wants to do. That's not a surprise to me. The surprise comes when Bernie Sanders is on board. I thought there was some behind-the-scenes work, AOC. What is going on, guys? Am I missing something? We're missing a lot of things. We're missing a lot of pieces in this puzzle called infrastructure. This is very enigmatic. It's a enigma. Back to work, Edward. I'm asking everyone to get to work on finding out what the fuck is going on and what these Democrats are scheming. Because they're not scheming for us. Okay, guys? So I don't really know. I'm not trying to push in a narrative. I'm not trying to find an agenda. I wanted to fucking meet these guys off at the pass of the next robbery. And I think I have. But the difficult part is the media is so fucking bandwagon protecting it, running interference for the Joe Biden administration that I can't really honestly know if I have all the facts or not. So I need your help. If you guys know anything about this infrastructure deal that went down today, and also what Mitch McConnell, what happened to Mitch McConnell's deal? Why isn't it a bipartisan infrastructure deal, guys? What's going on? How did the Democrats all go into a fucking closed room and now agree that it's $2 trillion? The Bernie Sanders said, "Jeez Louise, that's not nearly enough." And then my next question is, are we going to all look at Bernie and be like, at least it's something when it passes and the squad votes for it again? I don't know. Guys, I don't know. But I feel like, okay, so this is my idea. My idea, because Jimmy Dores was to force the vote. My idea was to cut these robbers and thieves off at the pass and fucking completely, what do you call it, disassemble their whole arguments to make it so they have to pass something for the American people. You know, it's like when your fucking mom catches you sneaking outside after bedtime. This is what I'm talking about, guys. That's my idea. I don't know how to hashtag it. Hashtag you're grounded. Send it. By the way, guys, here's a little bit more information. Bernie Sanders is up for re-election in the midterms. Chuck Schumer is up for re-election in the midterms. Half the Senate is up for re-election in the midterms, and that's why something's going on. Also, that's why the wheels are moving also. There's a lot of things going, there's a lot of motion in play. But all I know for sure, guys, is power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall. So be free-thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded. Domination Politics.